Oh, hello. Happy Valentine. Valentine. Valentine Day. Hello, everyone. Happy Valentine's. Wala siya man sa Nigeria, Valentine, right? Hi, everybody. Hello, TikTok family, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. My nails are beautiful. I need to get my nails done. Yeah. Simply Paul, where have you been? Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. To all Ahmed, happy Valentine's Day. Valentine, yeah. That's it. Valentine. It's not V, it's F. That's how you say it. Well, if you're speaking Yoruba language. Valentine. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day, everybody. Hello, Miss Juliet. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well, everyone. Heart shape. Hello, Kelvin. Happy Valentine's Day. Hi, everyone. Hello, Big Bay. How's everybody doing? Y'all are not going for Valentine's Day dinner? Like, y'all hanging out with me? I mean, I ain't complaining. But more great. Valentine for Valentine's Day, we're going to be by ourselves. Listen, there's no greater love than the love of Christ, or love from Christ. And after that is self-love. You got to love yourself and be okay. Hello, Clement. Happy Valentine. Happy Valentine. Yes, it's Valentine. That's how you say it. Valentine. Because do we have V? I don't think there's a letter V in Yoruba alphabet. Let me even not try. I remember some ABD no ABD. Is it A F something GB? Listen, can y'all tell? Hello, Miss Gilma. So I appreciate you hanging out with. Hey, listen, I guess to a point in life where you can either entertain yourself or take yourself out. Because there's no V, right? Yeah, there's no V in Yoruba alphabet. Is that why? Yeah, there's why. Because our names. So I'm just thinking about there's no Yoruba name with V. V. That one I remember. That ones I remember. Hi everyone. This is Attorney Abisola Debola Olale Samuel Mumabasamu. I am an immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case, if it's a case that we handle, we can underrepresent immigration clients in all 50 states. Our contact number is 334-341-4475. Let me slow down. 334-341-4475. Yeah, I know I rushed my words so. Good evening, Miss Wallace. How are you? Hello, Mr. Kubina. How are you? Hello, Mr. Abu. How are you doing? I still don't have yeah. Send me an email. I don't think I don't think I've seen it yet. But send me an email. Thank you, Mr. Sagi. How are you? If you need to contact our office, our number is 334. Thank you for joining your meeting. 341-4475. Visit our website at olalayalawfirm.com. USCIS is going to mess up my day today. I got an error in the kids app that I spent, oh Lord, God knows how many hours, and they had the audacity to send me an error. Even my client was like, okay, this is ridiculous at this point. What do they want? So I told her, like, I said, the very first one, let me just pray on it, because if I don't, I'm probably going to cuss them out, and we don't need to be cussing on this. We need an approval. So, but I decided, like, hey, they ain't going to steal my joy and my love today, because it ain't happening. No, I'll deal with that tomorrow. But anyway, you can contact us on 334-341-4475. Also visit our website at olalayalawfirm.com. Thank you, Yummy Dean. And you can also send a text to that same number, either directly or on WhatsApp. It's the same number on WhatsApp. That's the only number I have. People would contact us sometimes and go, hey, there's actually a guy who paid for consultation to somebody else. So please understand, people, if you're in seeing Olale Law Firm and Secure Pay with Law Pay, it's not me. No one in my firm is ever going to call you to ask for your card details or anything, unless you have received an email from me because you're having issues making payments on your own, and you request that we help you. Other than that, it doesn't happen. So please share this video, like and follow us on all social media platforms at Olale Immigration. I would appreciate that. KFV, put the question in your comment section, and we do questions at the end. If you just come join us for the first time, welcome aboard. I usually come on Tuesdays and Thursdays, about 9:15 ish. I said 9, but let's just say 9:15 ish, right? Let's just say that. But anyway, let's talk immigration. Because today is Love Day, we are going to talk about love and vow, or lack thereof. Let us talk about love and vow, or lack thereof. What does that have to do with vow? Yes. So this is what and if you haven't heard of vow, you're going to hear about it today. I don't know how many consultations I had today, because I was in court. This morning was about I represent the state of Alabama in child services. So but when people call CPS and they take the kids from the house, I represent one of the counties where I decide with my caseworkers if the children should go back or not, or if we have evidence against them to keep the children. Now, listen, don't be coming for me, don't judge me like I'm taking that. At the end of the day, the kids have to be safe. Anyway, so that was my morning, and then I had consults until 8:30 this evening, I guess. But 2 out of those consultations were people who had never heard of VOW, and they absolutely qualify for VOW. So let's talk about, what does love have to do with VOW? So if you know, then you know. For those who do not know, VOW is a way where you can get your green card by yourself, based on love. That's what love's got to deal with VOW, in the sense of you have to be. Now, I mainly do spousal VOW petitions. There are options of a child who's been abused, a parent who's been abused by a citizen son or daughter who is at least 21 years. I primarily deal with spousal abuse cases. So basically, that's, love is involved in all aspects of it, but obviously we're talking about Valentine's Day today. We're talking about couples, and that's what we're talking about today. Love should not hurt. Love should never hurt. Love forgives. Love understands. Love shows mercy. Love extends grace. Love is not abusive, and it should never hurt. So a lot of immigrants come to this country, get married, because number one and the fastest and the most popular way of getting your green card is via marriage. If you get married to a citizen, it doesn't matter whether or not you have overstayed. As long as you came in legally, then you are exempt from overstay bar. In a VOW case, however, even if you entered the country without inspection, not more than one time, you still will be eligible for VOW. So VOW is the one I do mainly with your spousal petitions, has to do with you getting married to your spouse. Your spouse must be either a green card holder or they are United States citizens. Even if the marriage is not valid, in the sense of, if your spouse, the abusive spouse, committed bigamy, then as long as it was without your knowledge, you still may be eligible to file for VOW. So what is love? What does love have to do with it? If you are in a marriage, then you expect that your spouse is showing you love, right? However, The opposite is what happens when you are eligible, that makes you eligible for filing a VAWA case. That means the person has subjected you to some form of abuse. Like I said, love is not abusive. So sometimes we marry, and most of the time we're married because we're falling in love with somebody. However, along the way, that love turns into abuse. That love turns into control. It turns into name calling. It turns into financial abuse. It turns into sexual control. Those are things that now make you eligible as an immigrant who has come all the way from your home country, trying to make a better life for yourself, your children, family members, whatever the case may be. And now you end up in the hands of someone who is using your immigration status to control you. That's not love. You end up in the hands of someone who decides that because they're not married to you, and you are the one of the people are consulted with today. The lady told him that she's heard a lot about Nigerian men and how Nigerian men are great providers. So, thumbs up to my Nigerian brothers. But because she's heard that great providers, she's decided she ain't going to work anymore. So she had a great job. They got married, went on a honeymoon. After marriage, she said, now you're going to take care of me. It's not a case of, is it okay as a couple? Because, I'm not talking of, sitting down and agreeing that one party stays home, one party works. That's not what I'm talking about, because they don't have kids. There's no minor kid involved. She just decided on her own that because this guy is Nigerian, and because according to what she's heard and the friends she has, then he has to take care of her, whether he likes it or not. So this guy has been doing that for almost 2 years. He has to work 3 jobs. He has to pay all the bills. And then she still had the audacity to bring another man into the house. That's not love. And so we evaluated his case, and he has suffered financial abuse, financial control. He has suffered mental and emotional abuse. He has actually suffered physical abuse, because she would actually get this boy or this man. I said boy because and a real man wouldn't do that, to come in and straighten and put our husband and put him in line and check him. That's not love. That's where you as an immigrant turn around and say, what are my options in order to stay in this country legally? And that's where VAWA comes into play. So if you have been someone who married your green card holder or citizen spouse for love, and that love has now turned sour, and now you are you're faced with dealing with a narcissist, you're faced with someone who is throwing your immigration status in your face and using that to threaten you if you make any if they get physically abusive with you, and they use that to threaten you if you want to make any report to law enforcement. Someone who decides that they're going to stop working so you can single-handedly take care of all the bills, even if it drives you insane. And see, the one thing you cannot I'm just remembering something, that's why I'm laughing, but and because what I want to say, you cannot come between an African man and him taking care of his mother back home. Let me say that again. Y'all who love African brothers, that's okay. If he's got a mama and he's responsible for her financially, you cannot tell a man, an African man, not to take care of his mother back home. This lady says she's going to make sure he has nothing to send back to his mother, who is elderly and depends 100% on him. It is our culture. It is our tradition. It is you sowing into your own future so that when you're at that age, your children also will turn back and take a look back and say, okay, I'm going to take care of my mother or my father. So if someone is depriving you of something that is tradition for you because they want to frustrate you and make it impossible for you to take care of your family back home, that's financial abuse. If someone is calling you name, that's not love, that's financial abuse. What do you have to show in order to know that you qualify for a VAWA case? You've got to show that you're physically present in the United States. You've got to show that you are married legally to the abuser. The person is a citizen or green card holder. You have a qualifying relationship. Qualifying relationship includes that the person is a citizen or green card holder. You are eligible for that immigration classification, and that you were legally free to marry. That is one place that gets a lot of our clients, a lot of our people, because y'all just would not do your customary court or your high court decrees the right way. If I don't care how much abuse evidence you have, I don't care how much shared residency evidence you have, I don't care how much good faith evidence you have, I don't care how good your character is. If at the end of it all, USCIS decides your marriage was never valid, nothing else will stand. Let me say that again. It doesn't matter how much abuse, good moral character, physical presence, shared residency, good faith you have. If the qualifying relationship is not valid, meaning for whatever reason, your divorce decree wasn't valid, your divorce decree was whatever, you were previously married and your previous marriage was not legally terminated, you ain't going nowhere with that. Everything else falls. It's like building a house. Without a solid foundation, it doesn't matter how big your chandelier is, it's going to come crashing down. That's the same thing with vow. You've got to make sure you have a qualifying relationship that includes you being legally free to marry your abuser at the time you married the person. Now, there are some states that have common law marriages that can be helpful to people who had a faulty divorce decrees. But I think they're about just 5 states out of the whole country. So once again, qualifying relationship that you are eligible for the immigration classification sought. You're physically present in the United States. There's an exception to if you're not physically present. If you're not physically present, then you have to show that the abuser is a government employee, works abroad, is a member of a military, or that at the time you were abused, part of that abuse occurred in the United States. So physical presence, that you were abused by that green card holder or citizen. You are a person of good moral character. You lived with the person at some point, and even living with them prior to you getting married also qualifies for shared residency, and that you entered the marriage in good faith. So love does not hurt. Love is not abusive. If you as an immigrant has found yourself in an abusive marriage, a lot of us immigrants are raised in, especially Africans and Caribbeans, we're raised to believe that unless the person physically hurts you, then it's not abuse. You couldn't be more wrong. Abuse, there's battery and extreme cruelty. That's the standard when it comes to abuse in that case. Battery basically means physical abuse. Extreme cruelty is where everything else falls: mental, emotional, financial, verbal, sexual, immigration control. All of that is wrapped up under extreme cruelty. So how do you know if you qualify? If you feel that all the points I have enumerated, that you're able to have evidence to satisfy all those points, give us a call. Let's evaluate your case and see if you qualify for VA. Love does not hurt. But thank God that U.S. Congress decided that if love is hurting you in a relationship, in a marriage, you've got a way to self-petition for your own green card so that you can reclaim your freedom. And that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Okay, let me go to, I'm going to spend Valentine's night with my kids. I didn't get nobody to be my Valentine today. Actually, I did. I don't just see how you can go on a date during the week. I had court today, I have court tomorrow, and I have court on Thursday. Like that's is just not happening. So it is what it is. So I'm going to spend with my 2 favorite Valentine people. Well, I don't know if the 18-year-old is going to want to spend time with me, but I'll. A 12-year, my 12-year is my that's my buddy for a while. We'll see how long that's gonna last. Thank you, Valentine Luke. Glad to have you tonight. I appreciate that. Hello, Ms. How are you? Happy Valentine's Day to you. Happy Valentine's Day, Miss Christine. If you'll tell Jayla I said Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you, Miss Akobina. Hello, Davies Osagi. How are you? Hello, Missy Joma. How are you? Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Okay. All right. Thank you. That's a lot of greetings there. I appreciate you guys. Okay, let me go to, let's do TikTok first. Oh, by the way, two things before I forget. I got, isn't it nice when a DHS attorney who has just, on this particular case, I probably have dealt with, probably four circulating DHS attorney on this case, and finally got an email that something they dragged out for 5 years. On your Burusha. 5 years. Like 5 years ago, I even had this much gray hair. That's how much time has passed. Finally, the I sent an email and say, hey, all right, yeah, we're going to terminate proceedings. I agree to join the motion to terminate proceedings. Y'all, listen, the first time I had a grown man cry on the phone when I gave them news, it took me aback because, African men don't cry. They just don't. That was, a couple years ago. So now I'm used to it now, but it still always makes me know that, it's a reassurance because, I wish I could tell you that I get an approval in every single case, but then I'll be lying through my teeth, and it's just impossible. And I am one who I don't pick and choose cases that I know or believe I can win. I pick and I select, I review, and I select based on what we have. I love challenges. I get bored easy. I would tell you up front, this is what we may be facing, but I love to take on things that seem impossible. That's just me. That's just my personality. There's some people who are okay with comfort zone. I don't do comfort zone. I am, call me crazy. I'm just one who, and the thing is, I worry a lot. So, but the funny thing is, because of that, that's one of the things I tried to challenge myself with, that I take on things that many people don't want to take on. And, so, I wish I could tell you and get approval, but that would be a lie. But when you get good news and you call your client, and just to hear the relief and another girl may cry, it's like, I be so like, oh, can you love my kid? It's a different thing if he was crying for another reason, I digress, but that's not the reason. But to just hear and be able to just call someone and say, you know what, you ain't going to worry about one leg in, one leg out in the removal proceedings. And so that was just a great day today. It was just great. It was a great day. It was just great. And then we are also doing, in honor of Love Day for the rest of the month, if you, and this applies to only new consultations and people who have not been quoted a fee, if you are going to schedule a consultation regarding VAWA cases only. I don't say why you do know VAWA cases, because it's about love, working out. And that's, it is what it is. We are offering 15% off attorney fees. I'll let you know what, and I usually tell people, hey, I don't go lower than this. So we're offering 15% off legal fees for VAWA cases till the end of the month. As long as it's a new consultation, you have never been quoted a fee before, it's going to be a new case, and you do it before the end of the month. So those are two things I wanted to bring to your attention. Delia, happy Valentine's Day to you as well. Thank you for joining in from Pennsylvania. Happy Valentine's Day. Arda? I have probably just killed your name. I'm sorry. Arda from Spain. Cool. Thank you. What the hell? What time is it in Spain? What time is it in Spain? Hey, I do have my Asylum interview in 5 days. Any tips? Get a lawyer. That's the tip I have for you. Um, let's see. Yeah, okay, there's no V in your right alphabet. So V is F. Valentine. I should tell TJ. 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 Let's see if he'll come. Valentine. Uh Good evening to you as well. Are you your mama's Valentine for life? No, not really. Okay. Do you know how we say V in Yoruba language? Guess.
V.
No, it will say F. So yeah, I was going to bring him over, but he's wearing short boxers. Now, knowing TJ, he probably will come because it's my country kid, but nobody wants to see your underwear. Bye, baby. Valentine. He was about coming. TJ is my country kid. Like he was born in the South. He's his mama's child. He doesn't like wearing clothes too. Yeah, so that's why his home is like. So that's my child for sure. Um, let's see. Uh, hair is beautiful. Thank you. Now I know how to wear my gray. You are beautiful. Hey, it's what it is. My hair started turning gray because I'm 44. And so my face is young, but my hair, my hair is old, as my kid said. But I used to dye it when I started practicing. I think my hair, I could count the number of strands that were gray as of 2017, 6 years ago. But then came 2018, I think, and okay, this is where my hair really became dark. So, because I had filed for divorce from my ex husband back in 2017. Y'all don't blame me. Just remember, because I filed for divorce from the guy he didn't even know. Don't listen. If I'm the kind of person, once I make up my mind on something, ah, even though long go and Abisola, Gao. Yeah, anyway, I digress. So, going through that process, um, I've been through stuff, people. TJ, can you turn off your AirPods, please? I'm almost done because I don't know if people can hear on TikTok anymore. Please turn off your AirPods because you know I'm using your old phone. Um, so that 2018 is when yeah, that's when my divorce was final. But before it was final, oh Lord, that's when my hair really started to turn gray. And then I went, full force into practicing, and I would color it and buy a hair dye, and the next week is it's growing back hair. And I was like, you know what? I know, and I'm, my mom is Jewish, so I have a Jebu blood, and I'm like, no, 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 no. But what thing you come finish your hair dye, and I ain't doing it. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. I got an approval I-45 notice as a main no interview for me. Technically, yes, I don't know anything about your case. So love is patient. Absolutely. But if you got an I-45 approval notice, that's you. The next thing you should get it will be your green card. Can I invite my fiance from Nigeria? How long will it take? And what do I need to show? Please, ma'am, sit down with a lawyer and talk and evaluate your case. In which state are you in? My office is based in Alabama, but we represent immigration clients in all 50 states because immigration is federal practice. And a lot of people always ask me about divorce. So, divorce cases, you have to be a resident of my state or in the states that I practice. So, I'm licensed in Alabama and New York. I'm physically present in Alabama So divorce, because we get tons of calls every day about, Sister Line, with divorce, I can't help you because unless you live in the state of Alabama. If you do not live in the state of Alabama or New York, I cannot help you with a divorce case because divorce, domestic relations is state specific, unlike immigration that is federal practice. So the difference is with federal practice areas, you all you need is one license in from one state, and you can practice that federal law in any state. Uh, Conversely, state laws like domestic relations, criminal defense, you've got to be licensed in that state. So I hope that clarifies things. Okay. How can I prove abuse if I didn't file the police for to the police? That's where declaration comes into play. Witness affidavits, seeing a psychology, so they have a detailed psychological evaluation report for you. Those are ways you're able to prove if you went to the hospital. For instance, I have someone working on her case. She got STD from the guy, so we just received her records. She got her records from her doctor, and we're going to be adding that to the evidence. So it depends on the kind of abuse that you suffered, and then we'll be able to evaluate and tell you what you need to do. USCIS issued new EAD without any submission, though current EAD expiring in 1 year. USCIS just doesn't give you work permit. You must have submitted something, unless it's a valid case. If it was a valid case, then you get an automatic 631 EAD. I'm 37 and my husband is 70. Can my green card get approved? Huge age gap is not one of the factors USCIS is allowed to consider for denying your case. Now, is it a factor to consider good faith? Yes, but your case cannot be denied solely based on the fact that you have a big age difference. How to adjust J1 visa to green card. Sit down with a lawyer and talk about your case. Are they waiving I-751? I have been waiting for almost 2 years and I haven't received anything. Yes, they are. So someone who had consulted with me, I think 3 times, and I kept telling her, listen, let's just wait. Your case has been pending for a while. And then last week, we called USCIS together. And over the weekend, her green card was approved without interview. Now, she had a lot of evidence. USCIS has actually released a policy on their page and on their an alert saying, encouraging people to submit as much good faith supporting sufficient evidence for your marriage-based cases, meaning in the marriage green card and I-751, so that you increase your chances of having your interview waived. But it's taking a while. 204C need to get a waiver. 204C, you have to be able to overcome that. It's not about waiver at that point. 204C is a permanent bar. So the way you can overcome a permanent bar is to file a new case and find someone to help you argue that you never committed fraud or your marriage wasn't fraudulent. The previous marriage wasn't fraudulent. Let's see. What does it mean? Oh. Okay, probably missed a lot. Okay, I'm sorry if I missed your question. That's because this thing jumps. Can you file Vawa if your citizen wife refuses to file I-130 for you? A refusal to file your immigration papers does not just by itself constitute abuse. However, if it is intentional and malicious to keep you in control, then that can rise to the level of extreme cruelty. So you want to sit down with a lawyer and figure out if you're eligible. Finally, speak here about the law. Me not hear English. So listen, my Yoruba has 𝒑𝒂💏. I don't even know how I survived school. Um, my dad, God rest his soul. I lost my dad about 8 years. It's gonna be 8 years in October, and I used to say "Abisola." Nothing against my Igbo people, but that's what my dad used to say. That "Abisola Omaso Yoruba Beni Momo Igbo." I used to speak Yoruba like an Igbo. If you're not like, for instance, as a Yoruba girl, if I speak Hausa, like that's not my language, and vice versa. Um, but listen, that's what my daddy used to say. Don't shoot the messenger. Um, Applied for I-130 April 22nd until now. Active the review says 11.5 months for approval. Yes, it's taking forever, so just be patient. I-360 Alexa Africa I-360 approved card was mailed to me. I don't have it yet, but is this a green card or a new EAD? If it's coming under your I-360 receipt number, then it's a C31 EAD. Can I stay abroad for more than a year with my 10 years green card? You have to apply for a re-entry permit before you leave. Is it possible for spouse green card approved without interview? That's what we've been talking about all evening. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Okay. I think it skipped again. I don't know what it is with TikTok. It skips when you're scrolling. Listen. Let me see if I can get that back. Okay. Can I file for my 33 years old daughter? Is she unmarried? Is she married? What is your status? There's a whole lot of questions. There are a lot of questions that go into that. My wife is 46 and I'm 39. When my green card be approved, I just said about age. Listen, to each their own. For like someone who's younger, yeah. But I, I'm the kind of person that we've got to, not saying just because you mentioned age, we've got to be intellectually sound. And TJ, can you disconnect your AirPods, please? Um, and it's been scientifically proven that women and men of the same age, this is not me, just scientists, the women are actually more mature and smarter than men of the same age. Don't shoot the messenger. So I'm one who I if someone is much younger than I am, I'm probably gonna bust you around. That's just my personality. And so for me, I think I do better with dating people who are older than me because I still will bust you around if you let me. But at least we can relate. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, but 6 years is not bad. 39, 7 years, not bad. Can I get someone that's 7 years younger than me? Probably not. 37. No. Okay. I am filing adjustment status for my mom. What category do I choose for I-765? Usually adjustment of status is C9 category. I have a green card which will expire in June, but file for I-751. My last day it's overdue. You should have received an extension, so that would extend your green card. Now they're issuing 4-year extension notice. How can I speak to you in your practice in US? Yes. If you need to discuss your case, I don't offer free consultation. You have to pay for consultation, which is, I keep forgetting, 30 minutes, 130, 45 minutes, 200, 1 hour, 230. And I usually offer courtesy credit if you retain my services within 15 days from the consultation. And you can go to my website to get that information, olalayelawfirm.com. OLALEYE lawfirm.com. My sister's lawyer did not send everything to the USCIS. Okay. All right. I'm a citizen. Can I file for my 33-year-old daughter? She's on my paper. I don't understand what you mean she's on your paper, but if you're a citizen can file for a child of any age, whether married or not. But the question then will be, if she's in the country, will she be able to adjust? The only way she can adjust in the country is if she is in valid status at the time that her priority date becomes current. Is it advisable to work unauthorized with your social security number while waiting for your EAD? I'm just going to skip that question. Can a green card holder's husband file for his spouse? Yes. So let me and thank you for bringing that question, because that comes up a lot. Let me clarify something. A petition is not equivalent of an application to adjust status. A petition is a standalone immigration benefit. I-130 stands alone. You don't have to, it's not contingent on something. It is a standalone petition by itself. I-589, asylum application, is a standalone application by itself. I-140, employment-based petition, is a standalone petition by itself. Those stand alone. Now, what people really should understand, and y'all should understand, is this. It's one thing to be able to file a petition. So yes, you can file a petition as a green card holder spouse for your wife. My question to you then will be, when that petition has been approved, because the petition on its own can be approved. When the petition has been approved, will your spouse, as a green card holder that's married to you, will they be able to adjust their status, meaning apply for their green card in the country without having to leave the country? And it depends on if they are in valid non-immigrant status. If they are not, you have two options. Either they have to get a waiver before the leave of their unlawful presence, or they have to wait until you become, thank you, Illinois Sanctuary, they have to wait until you become a citizen, because once you become a citizen, then they are exempt from the unlawful presence in admissibility ground. Don't mix the two. Petition is one thing, application is another. That's why you can file an I-130 for a sibling. It can be approved in less than 2 years, but that sibling will not be able to apply for the immigrant visa for more than 10 years, because a petition is not the same as an application for green card or immigrant visa. All right, let me go to Instagram and then we will call it a day. Let's see. And the same thing, yes. Good question. Does the same thing apply in asylum? Yes. I can't say this enough. Asylum, when you file for asylum, because I have people who say, "I'm going to file for asylum before my 6 months. Those stamps will pass on me expire." I get it. Okay. The only thing that helps you with, when you file within the time frame on your I-94, the authorized state, is you do not accrue unlawful presence. When you file for asylum as well, it halts accruing unlawful presence for the time that, from the time you get your receipt notice up until the decision has been made. But the fact that you file asylum within the 6 months you're given to stay in the country does not mean that you can adjust your status and or change status if you decide to go another route, unless it is an application that has the exemption of unlawful presence. The authorized stay that asylum gives you does not confer on you any legal status. Asylum pending does not confer on you a lawful status. The only thing it does is authorizes you to stay while your case is pending, and it halts you from accruing unlawful presence. That's it. That's why if your asylum case gets denied and you have no backup status, meaning your 6 months is now up, you never accrued unlawful presence, but the asylum officer did not make a decision in your case until 18 months after you came in. So you've actually been out of your authorized stay on your I-94 for over a year. If there is no other status at that point, that's why you get referred to immigration court, basically placed in deportation proceedings. That's what that is. When they tell you this is not a denial, but just referring to immigration court, you are being placed in removal proceedings. And that's because asylum gives you authorized stay. It does not confer on you of lawful status unless your asylum case application was approved. I get that almost every single week. I really. Let's see. Is it advisable to self-petition my I-751 after 13 months of putting in the documents? It depends on if you qualify for that. So if you are going through a divorce, if you've been subjected to abuse, then that's what you have to see. People, this is just general information and general answers to questions within a space of 1 hour is not what you need. Sit down with a lawyer and evaluate your case. Know what your options are. Thank you, Illinois Sanctuary. Number is 334-341-4475 if you need to contact us for an evaluation of your case. Is EAD extension automatic? It's not automatic in the sense of it's got to be one of those categories that falls within what that's listed on the receipt notice itself. Is it possible to expedite a K-1 visa if you have a newborn and get a quick interview? And listen, I would say expedite anything and just see without rise to the level to the level of the required grounds for expediting your case. The only way you would know is if you expedite. Thank you, Illinois. Why is this is 𝐸𝐫𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐀. I have a video that's on my Instagram and on Facebook where y'all know. And you tell me, let you guys to be thorough. Okay, see, that's why I say my your is not. But there are some people from our side where Omafi CH Omakweni SH. So like when you're saying cheating, right? Like cheat, like chips, cheating, choice. They say choice. They say you know what I mean. So if it works for you with immigration, hey. Why is my 751 being delayed to 2 years? Extension given 2 years back will expire in June. You can get an info pass. So if you haven't received your 48 months extension, which they should have sent to everybody, then you will have to make an info pass appointment and go get your 1 year visa stamp on your passport. Thank you, Simply Paul. What is an abeyance? Can it be done to save the priority date of the current I-130, I-485 if you're converting from marriage-based to VA? Yes, I do that all the time. Abeyance is basically a hold. Abeyance is you're holding something. And that's one of the things I always do if I have a client who's converting. Like, for instance, today we sent out 4 VA receipt notices to the respective field offices because those cases we converted. And whenever we get it in my office, because once you make the request for them to hold your I-45 in advance, you have to file the VAWA petition within 30 days. And so one of them actually sent us an RFE that we should send proof that we filed the VAWA petition within 30 days. That's the first RFE I was getting for for proof. So that was one of the ones we sent out, and luckily for us, we filed within 30 days. And luckily for us, the months that we sent us the receipt notice within the time frame to respond. So that's basically what you do, and holding your case in abeyance. Let's see. How long does it take to get prima facie after receiving receipts? Can VAWA be approved without prima facie? Face, body, mind, beauty, spa. I got some today. I have my 18-year working for me, and yes, I'll pay him. He doesn't work for free. He's gonna be my full-time intern during summer because he's heading to college. How can I possibly have a kid heading to college? Like the kid was just born yesterday. Like he was just like I remember his little ass. Excuse my French. Because that is my firstborn child. That is a I always say I love my kids equally, but I love them differently because their love languages are different. My oldest is not a huggy kid. He's not. You're gonna literally have to ask him to give you a hug. He's not. Mm-mm. But TJ's my baby. He's a huggy one. Um. So I remember when my oldest kid was born, I actually had emergency C-section. When I tell people that, don't dream me to it was back in Chicago, 2004, and because I'm tiny, I'm over 5 foot tall, and so he was stuck in the birth canal, and he stopped breathing completely. Like the heart on the monitor just dropped. So by the time they wheeled me from the birthing room to the upper and got him out was under 10 minutes. This kid was, I didn't even see I didn't get to hold my child. I'm getting emotional for the first 5 days of his life because it wasn't in NICU. And we couldn't, he was just very, very, and his dad is a physician. The dad is a physician. So he was able to tell me what was going on, but there was a lot that he didn't tell me. And, God bless his heart for that because when he got out and he was about, I think the first time I saw the photos of Esgen and NICU was when he was about 6 months. It was scary. And so he completely kept that from me. I can't believe he's going to college, but thank God. He's going to be my full-time intern because he wants to make some money before he gets to college. Like, he's going to come home every single weekend. Like, I don't know. How do y'all do it? Those who have kids in college, like, and they go away because it's going away. Like, how do you do it where your one piece of your heart is somewhere else? I don't know. I don't know. I digress. Okay, so prima facie determination. I got, and the reason I brought up my kid because he's working. He helps me. I have someone who's in the office, but for the most part, my firm we are 99% virtual. So whenever we're not done, I just bring everything up. So he's the one in charge of your notices, SJ. And so I think he has about 7 that we got today. And using the timeline, some of those cases I filed back in October. And there are 2 of those cases that we submitted end of December. So, and we got the prima facie today. Can a VAWA case be approved without a prima facie determination? Yes. Conversely, you can also get a VAWA case denied in spite of receiving prima facie determination. What does it mean when USCIS request for initial evidence? Meaning that there was something that you should have submitted with your packet that you did not submit. Is it okay to change attorneys in between an application? I always say make sure you consider the reason why. I have people who change from my firm to another firm. It is what it is. I have people who don't like what I have to say, even though it's telling them the truth. It is part of what it is. So before you make the decision to change, know the reason why you want to change, not just because you like the way an attorney says something, just because you never know. Never know how deep your the lawyer is in your case. And if you don't ask what they have done, you would never know if it's worth changing that. And like, for instance, there was someone who was going to switch attorneys after the Vakis had been pending for 3 years. And I told him, like, listen, there really isn't anything I'm going to do at this stage. That it's not, besides just you have, because obviously that's how I make a living. You've got to pay me a retainer to get me on your case. But that's all I'm going to be doing, sitting down and waiting, because you've already done your RF, you responded. We're just waiting. That's all I'm going to be doing at this point. Now, he retained me for filing his green card application because his kids got approved, but and he told me, like, I'm so glad that I'm grateful that you just didn't, tell me to pay, because it was, I'll tell you, hey, if you want to pay me to sit on your kids, I'll be glad to. But if there's nothing that needs to be done, and depending on how far you have gone in your case, then it's good to have a consultation to evaluate that and see where you are before you make take a big step of changing, because you never know. Um, let's see. Congratulations. I think I missed something. Okay, let me see. Happy Valentine's to you as well, Mr. Idris. Miss Chrissy, Miss Molly says Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Let's see. Sister Tiku, come on, thank you. To me, talk, I appreciate that. Hello, Mr. West. How are you? How's my boy doing? Um, my VOD got approved. I can't put your question on the screen because your name is there. I-45, but I did not indicate that my son is filing with me. Can I file a separate I-45 for my son as part of my derivatives as long as it qualifies? Yes. After, so I can put this one on because it's not your name. After I get my prima facie, how much time I have to wait for my work permit without green card. Prima facie has nothing to do with how much time you're waiting for your green card or work permit. What if asylum is pending and I got married? What will I do? Do I need to withdraw the asylum and the asylum pending is in court? If you got married, keep in mind that you have to, while you are in removal proceedings, then you will need to submit bona fide exemption request. Once your petition gets approved, then you can go back to court and ask the court to terminate your proceedings, or you can apply to adjust your status in court. Okay, people. God is good all the time. All right, everyone. What's the timeline for fiance visa? Forever. I have cases have been pending a year now. So listen. And then USCIS is approving cases that are filed recently. It makes no sense. But I always say, just hang in there. Be patient. Be patient, because hurry. Sometimes, if you get denied, then you still have to be patient and start all over again. Just be patient. I know as immigrants, we're a group of people who do not have patience at all. But let's be patient. Let's know that God works things out in our favor at the appropriate and chosen time. I know it gets frustrating just waiting and waiting. He's doing okay. He's a schoolboy now. I hear. It is doing well in mathematics and English, and we're still hoping to hear from. We're going to be hearing good news, God willing. God willing. I still believe. Listen, even when things don't make sense to me, if someone told me something one time, and I've always lived my life that with that. Even sometimes I just get there's, like today I got the RFS, like just wanted to mess up my whole day, and I had to make a decision. Like, you know what, I can either let that, because I take these things personal. I take denials or RFAs. I take them like my contract is very clear. I don't ever guarantee the outcome. You're going to sign. You already know that it may not be favorable to you, but as a human being, as someone who has so much compassion and just passion for what I do, eh, some of my colleagues like, Abby, it's a job. It's more than a job for me. It's knowing that I'm being part of changing somebody's life. Yes, I cannot control. I can only control what I can get. The only thing I can guarantee is my work, but I cannot control the outcome. When the outcome is favorable, it is seeing the joy. Like the person I called today saying, "Hey, you're no longer with residents, or you're no longer with, I've already submitted the motion to terminate that, turn it over." To know that people get relief and they can plan their lives, they can move on. There's nothing that compares to that. So I get it, but I just want to ask you, suggest that we all be patient, right? Let's be patient. Let God do what He knows how to do best. Let Him do it at His own perfect time. God is never late. He's never late. It may look like things are not working as quickly as we want them to, but God is never late. We may not always get the result that we want, but God does not make errors. There is a reason for everything. And He perfects everything that concerns us. Bible says that He who has begun a good work is more than able to complete it until the coming of Jesus. There's nothing, I haven't seen anything that God starts that He cannot finish. So the fact that something seems like the end, as long as you still have breath within you, then it's not the end. Just keep going. So I thank you all for joining me on this love day. I thank you for always supporting me. I do not take it for granted. I say it all the time, but I sincerely do not. And I pray, thank you. I pray that God gives us the strength to keep going. There are cases that take years, like Vawa. It takes years, but let's just keep going. Let's keep believing. Let's keep trusting. We've come a mighty long way from our various home countries. I've gone through this journey. I've almost given up. I've been to the point where I'm like, you know what, Nigeria about to, let me just go back to my motherland. And I've also experienced what it feels like to open the mailbox and see your green card. I've experienced what it feels like to be there and waving the American flag and like looking back and like I never, at some point I thought that this was never gonna happen. But it surely would happen for all of us. Because the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely come. It shall not be delayed. Have a good night, everyone.